Well, first of all, let me say that we don't use the term illegal immigrants. I actually issued a policy in the Department of Homeland Security. We use the term non-citizen to respect the dignity of every individual.
It's time to do another video about immigration. And I know yesterday's immigration one was me like kind of reacting, and it was actually a 2-week-old story, and I reacted like it was breaking news. I took it off the title. Thank you for letting me know that it wasn't breaking news. I saw it, I reacted, and I did a video. So that's my correction for the last video I did. This one is about Alejandro Mayorkas. Alejandro Mayorkas. I'm probably still mispronouncing his name. For some reason, I've got some kind of block on him. It's probably because he's part of the problem with the Biden administration. They are putting things on government websites that if I was in any country in this world, I'd be like, I got to get here. Let's first start off with the video from the .gov site that talks about doing, oh no, actually, you know what? Let's not do that. Let's start off with the video of him getting impeached. So let's take a look at this, and then we'll come back and I'll show you what the government's producing under his control. Here you go.
I'm Rebecca Santana, Homeland Security reporter for the Associated Press. House Republicans have voted to impeach Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. House Republicans needed a simple majority for this second vote to succeed. A previous attempt to impeach the secretary last week failed after all Democrats and a handful of Republicans voted against it. So what does this mean? The House has approved articles of impeachment against Mayorkas, but it's not the same thing as removal from office. Impeachment is a tool that Congress can use to try to get rid of officials, but it is rare for it to be used for a cabinet secretary. The last time it happened was in 1876. In this case, Republicans in the House say that Mayorkas has refused to comply with immigration laws, and that is what is leading to the surge of migrants at the southern border. Mayorkas says that these charges are baseless, and Democrats and legal experts have said that this is essentially a policy dispute between Democrats and Republicans, and that impeachment is not justified in this type of a situation.
The allegations are baseless, and I'm focused on the work.
Now the issue goes to the Senate. The Senate can either hold a trial on the articles of impeachment, or they can decide to send the issue to a committee for its own investigation. That would mean that there wouldn't be any decision immediately. Now, either way, there is unlikely to be a conviction in the Senate. A conviction requires a 2/3 majority of all senators. And that would mean that all Republican senators, as well as some Democratic senators, would have to vote to convict the secretary. And some Republican senators have been cool to the idea of impeachment. So Homeland Security Secretary Mayorkas will likely stay in his job. But in an election year, Republicans are able to focus attention on issues they know are important to voters: immigration and border policy.
Homeland Security is an American national security term for the national effort to ensure a homeland that is safe. I'm reading this and it's just so opposite of what's going on right now. That it's safe, secure, and resilient against terrorism and other hazards where American interests, aspirations, and ways of life can thrive. To the national effort to prevent terrorist attacks within the United States, reduce the vulnerability of the U.S. to terrorism, and to minimize the damage from attacks that do occur. Okay, we're all rolling our eyes right now because the border's open. The people that they're catching, they said they caught like 1 million people or something. There's still 8.5 million that got in. So we're talking maybe they're catching maybe 5% right now, and then releasing them. So, we're in wide open flood zones here with the immigration. So here's a video that they posted on their YouTube channel explaining how immigration is friendly and happy, and the people that are immigrating over are victims and they need to be taken care of. That's what my point of view is. Let me know what yours is. Try to stay with it. Don't fast forward. We have to look at everything they're doing. Here's the video.
Across the world, people are leaving their homes and their countries because of hunger, violence, political repression, poverty, and a lack of economic opportunity. Many seek safety and economic opportunity in the United States, as well as other countries in the region. Criminal smuggling organizations prey on migrants. They lie about U.S. immigration laws and hide the extreme dangers of the journey because they care only about money. But the U.S. border is not open to illegal or irregular migration, and U.S. immigration laws remain strict even as the COVID-19 public health order known as Title 42 ends. The Department of Homeland Security is simply returning to fully enforcing United States immigration laws under Title 8, placing people into removal proceedings and removing those who have no basis to remain in the United States. Unlike Title 42, Title 8 laws impose immigration and criminal consequences, including final orders of removal, deportation, a 5-year ban on re-entry, and possible criminal prosecution if you attempt to re-enter. The United States has and will continue to enforce our nation's immigration laws. The U.S. Border Patrol works every day to protect our borders using sophisticated technology, cameras, and aerial surveillance to arrest people attempting to cross the border illegally. Under Title 8, individuals and families who arrive without authorization can be subject to removal. Through expedited removal, certain non-citizens can be returned to their country of origin very quickly. Certain non-citizens may be returned to Mexico even if they are not Mexican citizens. Dozens of deportation flights take place every week. Last year, the U.S. removed or expelled more than 1.4 million people, more than any previous year. Do not put your life at risk by taking the dangerous journey only to be sent back. Many migrants don't know this and believe the lies they see on social media or hear from others. Smugglers count on that. Smugglers may not explain the dangers, that migrants are often assaulted, abused, or kidnapped for extortion by criminal cartels. Smugglers lie about the risks of death due to heat and dehydration, the dangers of drowning trying to cross the river, or the injuries that migrants could suffer falling from the border barriers. Smugglers also lie or leave out the fact that non-citizens who arrive without authorization are subject to removal from the United States. Migrants who try to illegally enter the U.S. without authorization will be arrested and processed, which means they are screened and vetted against criminal and other databases. Anyone who poses a threat will be removed as quickly as possible or detained in accordance with the law. The fact is, most non-citizens coming to our border are not eligible to remain in the United States. Asylum laws do not provide for relief solely for economic reasons or for general violence. U.S. authorities may detain migrants until removal. In some cases, non-citizens may be temporarily released as they await the results of their immigration court proceedings only if they have passed screening and vetting. They are required to check in with U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement on a regular basis and may be given ankle monitors or similar electronic devices. If temporarily released, the federal government does not provide help or financial support to non-citizens, and non-citizens must report the addresses where they stay. An immigration judge may grant asylum or other forms of relief or protection if non-citizens qualify. Most do not. If a non-citizen receives a final order of removal through their immigration court proceedings, they will be taken into custody or remain in custody and are subject to removal from the United States. These are our immigration laws, and it would take an act of Congress to change them. Do not believe smugglers who just want to make a profit. Lawful pathways are the right way for migrants to come to the United States. DHS will continue to enforce the laws of the United States of America.
Now, I know that was hard to watch. It was. It was for me too. And I had to put supers over the top of it, the type over the top of it, just to call out the stuff that's not happening. That was necessary. I didn't want to interrupt it by chopping in and going, making all these comments. I've gotten feedback that it gets annoying when I chop into these videos. So I try to keep them solid and just use the type over the top. So let's listen. Here you go. I got notes here. Let's listen to what Mayorkas said. I think I got it right. What Mayorkas said on Meet the Press, and it means absolutely nothing. And this was April 30th, 2023. Here we go.
What's the definition of secure border to you?
It is, in the context in which we are working, it is maximizing the resources that we have available to us to deliver the most effective results.
Mayorkas added this to their .gov website August 1st, 2023, almost 2.5 years after the Biden administration took control over the immigration. It hit record levels, and I believe this is when he wanted to supercharge the illegal immigration into the country. I recommend pausing this and reading it. I made it to fill the screen so you can pause and read between the lines, if you know what I mean. I mean, it's amazing, isn't it? Now, if you're a liberal or a Democrat and you're still here and you're watching, even if you kind of hate me right now, I appreciate the fact that you're listening. You're willing to get out of your echo chamber of, the liberal media, and you're willing to look at somebody that's got a different opinion than yours. So I salute you for doing that. If you want to see how I believe you're getting manipulated, you can go to the link at the end of this video and see the I Hate Trump video. And for those of you that know me or like President Trump, I like President Trump, okay? Let's just get that for the record. I did this video because I wanted people that hated President Trump to watch it and see how the propaganda is manipulating them. So I think you'd find it very interesting. So please check out that video at the end of this report. Straight up. My ex-wife was Mexican, Spanish from Mexico. And I have a unique view and a compassion for people that are coming from Mexico. If I was in Mexico with 3 or 4 children and I saw what was going on up here in America, where my family members were getting up there, contacting me and saying they're getting Social Security numbers within 4 months, of course I'd come. I don't blame them. I mean, unfortunately, the terrorists, they were probably in this country in cells. They saw an open border and they're taking an opportunity to do it. I truly believe, and it's hard to say this, but I believe the Democratic Party wants civil unrest. I think they want a distraction. Something like 9/11 would be something that would be to their benefit because it would get the focus off of how bad Joe Biden's administration is. So they need a distraction. What did Hillary Clinton say? Never waste a good crisis. I'm paraphrasing. I'm pretty sure that's what she said. And that's what the Democrats do. It's all about distraction. They don't want you focusing on how bad they are. They need something that's going to somehow unify the country. And don't wars unify countries? Do you remember them singing on the Capitol steps, God Bless America, when we were going to attack Iraq? Do you remember that? Both Democrats and Republicans were up there being all patriotic, and they didn't know if they had weapons of mass destruction, but they were going to war. War's profitable. And then we end up leaving all of our equipment there when we leave. That's why right now Afghanis, the Taliban are driving around in our Humvees. It's an upside down world right now. I'd like to know your opinion on this. Mayorkas is still here. He's still in office after being impeached because we've got a Democratic-controlled Senate. So, and they need 2/3 of a vote to actually kick him out. And of course, they had some Rhino Republicans. I'm trying to research those names, but 100% Democrat said he shouldn't leave. Of course not, because the Democrats are all in on this. They want a porous border. They don't care. If they're unified, I can say I can say all of them. If they're unified, listening, saluting to Nancy, how can you support a Democrat? Any Democrat that's running right now, they don't have any good records in any cities. They are letting illegals come in for votes. They don't care about us. They don't care about the drug addicted because of the amount of drugs that are coming across the border from China. They don't care about the women and children that are being attacked. And that's all I'll say about that. You know what I'm talking about. We need to unite against this evil. We are in a spiritual battle. I'm going long, but I think it's important. This is William Wieting reporting from MustangMedic. Thank you for watching. And we got to unify. We got to get up. We got to get out. We got to speak. No fear. Never give up. Never surrender. Thank you.